Alright, people, welcome to me talking. This is Alexander Fritz, also known as Hon Si Zi, also known as the Apple Boom, tons of different names all over the internet. I'm with Avalon. This is actually the second time I'm recording something, but this is probably going to be the first one to go up. Nintendo Direct was just over. It is right now 11 o'clock Eastern Standard, whatever they call that thing. 11 o'clock New Jersey time. There. And I just want to go over some of the things that went on with the Splatoon. Oh, no. Wait. No. Okay, good. Alright, just want to make sure I didn't make any extra noise. Alright, so the Splatoon thing just went over, among so many other things, that, I wanted to go over some of the stuff that was in there. The first thing they showed us, was loadouts. That was pretty big. Oops. Let me mute my phone. Yeah, loadouts. They are having... Now, alright, I can't go into exactly what they did with this, because there were some things that were sort of unclear, but this is what we definitely know. With the loadouts, you have multiple different loadouts you can store and just switch between. They showed that. And the loadouts will be 3 different weapons. You have your main weapon, your sub-weapon, and your special weapon. Alright, your main weapon is your normal shoot things, takes up ammo weapon. And then there's the sub-weapon, which, if they haven't changed things from E3, you use your sub-weapon by having full ammo, I think it was, and then just using up all of your ammo, and it uses your sub-weapon. And then you have to get more ammo. And then there's your special weapon, where you have this fighting game-like meter, which goes up, and then once it's filled, you can press R3, or I don't even know what they call it on the Nintendo system, but I always call it R3. It's clicking in the right stick, and you will get your special weapon. Now, here's the weapons that I found after going over the trailer a few times. I posted this on Reddit and on the Avalon page. There's the 5.2 gallon, it was called. It looks kind of like a grenade launcher. It looks like it rapid fires like the normal weapon, but it's probably different. It's probably that it doesn't fire as quickly and does more damage or spreads more ink. That's what I'm guessing based on the just the look of it, because it looked like a grenade launcher. But none of that is conclusive at all. It was really hard to tell. Then there was something called the ink gun, which is not the normal gun that you see. That looks like not the thing that looks like a Nerf gun or what is it? One of those super soakers, but something else. I saw it like shoot once, but it shot off screen, and it was like one quick shot, and I have no idea what it did. All I know is that it's a basic weapon, and I didn't really see what it did. And it kind of looked like a giant pistol. There's the ink rifle. Well, this is the sniper rifle thing we've been seeing. What it does, it acts like a sniper rifle. You shoot, and then whatever you hit, there's this like decent sized ink explosion. It probably does a bunch of damage. It looks like it, from what they're showing off, that it's a one-hit kill. Don't know if headshots do extra damage. They might have said that back in E3, but I forgot if they did. Alright, then there's the quick ink rifle, which I don't know what that does. It's called the quick ink rifle. It looks just like the ink rifle. I did not see those two go up against each other to see how different they are. Oh, a really interesting thing about the ink rifle, though, is they showed, like, if you remember looking at, like, the normal gun, which they actually did not name in this trailer, or this direct. The normal gun, you just kind of shot it, and it didn't really show where you were shooting too much. But with the ink rifle, it showed someone using it, and there was this, like, ray, if anybody knows programming or 3D modeling stuff. It looked like a ray just going forward, this line going forward towards wherever it would shoot, and then there was this little marker there showing where the end of it was. So it was a really nice like aiming system, so you don't have to just kind of guess. That one gave you a very precise sight on where you would be shooting. Okay, next one. There's the main gun, which, like I said, they didn't say anything about. I mean, they didn't name it. I saw some people use it in the thing. It looked like the main gun. I don't know what else there was to say about it. And then there was the paint roller. It was very interesting. I always thought the paint roller was a super weapon or a special weapon, but it turns out the paint roller is actually a a main gun. It also looked like there was at one point it looked like someone used like the paint roller for a melee attack. That was kind of confusing what was going on there. But yeah, the paint roller is a main weapon. Okay, so that's all the main weapons I saw. Now, sub-weapons. There was the ink bomb, which is the grenade from the E3 that we saw before. It looks just the same. There's the ink shield. Now, what happens is, it brings up this, like, curtain thing. And, like, you just throw this thing forward, and it has a telescoping thing on the top, and then once it, like, totally expands, then it starts raining down ink in this one area. Shots can't get through. If it's anything like the single-player enemy things, then it would also probably hurt people, if not be a one-hit kill. It looked a lot like one of the enemies from the single-player mode. And it also had this thing in the middle, which showed the ink that was in it. So it started out with full ink, and you could just watch the ink drop, and then once it went to 0, it went away. So you can see how long it's going to be out there for. It also didn't seem like it lasted for too long, but those variables are almost always tweaked before the game actually comes out. Then there was the sprinkler system. It was this thing someone shot down, and then it just had 2 sprinklers on each side of it. Kind of, I don't know, I've seen sprinklers like it, although I don't know how to describe them exactly, but it was just this thing that fell down. It was just this turret thing, spread out 2 sides. It would spin around. I'm making motions with my hand. No one can see this. It would spread around. It would spin around and just spread ink in a short area. It looked like a very nice aerial deny, area control weapon. Alright, and, I think that was all the the sub-weapons that I saw. There are the special weapons. There's the barrier. We saw that, I think, before. Now it's confirmed as a special weapon. It just looks like it just makes you invincible. Nothing super special about that. Nothing super special about them, just an invincible barrier. Very nice thing to have. Especially if you're going for some tank-like class. There was the ink launcher, which I don't think I saw that one. I saw in action. I saw it in the menu when they were going over loadouts and stuff. But yeah, I don't think I saw the ink launcher. And yeah, then there was the ink tornado, which looks like that's the official name of the rocket launcher-like thing that we've been seeing since E3. And that people use as their special weapon in E3. And then there's something I call the nuke brush. They didn't name it. It looks like this big paintbrush summons down a nuke waterfall, inkfall thing. This big explosion thing that's constant and goes over a decent area. And that's all the weapons I saw. Now, there were other things that were very interesting. They had this hub world, which someone on Reddit pointed out looks a lot like this map from the upcoming Pokemon fighting game. That was kind of funny. But there's this hub world where you walk around, kind of like Nintendo Land, and that's your main menu. So you walk around there, and you can go to different shops and buy things from different anthropomorphized, I think is the word? Different anthropomorphized sea creatures like anemones and crabs and such. And then you can buy with coins that they said you get from playing the game. You can buy different equipment, like different guns. That's where you get all your different guns. That's how you unlock your things. You can also get different cosmetics. And the cosmetics aren't just cosmetics. So I guess cosmetic isn't a good word. Different equipment, I would call it. And this is the thing I didn't know. It did not look like, although I have to go over this again to be sure, it didn't look like it linked your cosmetics with the loadout. Which, if that's not true, that's a little upsetting. I would really like the cosmetics to be linked to loadouts, but if they're not, it's not a huge deal. Um, but yeah, the equipment, they said did different things, and there was these icons that came out. I'm sorry, there was these icons that were shown under the equipment in the menus, and it didn't say exactly what they did, but I could sort of make out with some of the things. Like, one of them looked like, with the helmet, it looked like you could take more damage. With some of the shoes, it made it look like you could move faster, or you could jump higher. Or maybe jump faster. Probably higher, though. There was another one where it looked like, it would, that summon thing, I don't know how to describe it. The thing where you touch on the pad and you warp, do a super jump to your ally. It looked like there was something that buffed that in some way. Probably makes it faster. Maybe makes the cooldown time lower. That would be a really interesting thing to see. But I don't know exactly what that did. And there was a bunch of different things there. And there was also a lot of question marks. There were, like, they looked like the icons that would show... Man, I keep on making things with my hands. No one sees me. It looked like these icons that they showed that was your different equipments, like specialties, but they were blacked out, and they were just question marks. So maybe you have to unlock them, or maybe they were just keeping them secret for the trailer that they were showing off. I don't know. I would probably think you have to unlock them, because there also seem to be an experience system. Because if you saw in the trailer, it showed a bunch of different people had different levels. I don't know how you get experience exactly. Probably just playing matches, you'll get experience fine. Doesn't say what the levels do. My personal guess would be there would be level-gated equipment. So you have to get to, like, level 10 before you can get these certain shoes or this certain gun or something. It didn't look, I mean, it didn't show anything really specific. So anything that I say on how fast leveling is or what levels mean or whatever is totally conjecture at this point. They didn't show anything about that. Yeah, but the central hub was really interesting because you also get to see other people's Inklings walking around from Miiverse, kind of like Nintendo Land. And it looked like you could walk up to them and, like, ask them what their equipment was. Because they did say one thing about checking other people's equipment. They didn't get too much exactly how you do that. But you could check other people's equipment, see what their loadouts are, and that would be a very interesting thing, just in-game, to see how other people are playing. And it's like, oh, this guy has this one loadout. It looks really interesting. Looks like an interesting tank loadout. Let me try that out. And you'll find out, oh, that's a really good loadout. Or, wow, that guy's dumb. That was the worst loadout ever. And, I don't know. Just be interesting to see what other people are using. They didn't really go over any maps or anything. They showed a bunch of stuff that we've already seen. They showed that one swampy-like map, which, if anybody hasn't been following the Tumblr, it had those water areas that if you touch them, you just die. I don't know why a squid dies in water, but whatever. Channeling my inner Nina. So... yeah, I can't think of much else there was. The aesthetics were very interesting. Some of the stuff came off as very early 2000s, late 90s hip-hop. I thought it was kind of funny. Just looking over this list that I wrote down. Oh yeah, and the release is in May. I think that's kind of important to say. So yeah, it's releasing in May 2015. Don't know when exactly, but sometime in that month. So right after school's out, for those of you in college, and right before school's out, for those of you not in college. But it's still spring. Let me see if there was anything else. Oh, the logo's a little bit different now. It's a little more poppy out, 3D-like. That's a thing, I guess. And, yeah, I guess that's everything I can think of. It'd be really interesting to see in the future people's loadouts together, how the matchmaking works, because they didn't really get into that. They just said, hey, walk into this tower and you get to play with people online. And that was all they really said about that. I guess you could also walk... I don't know, that comes up with a very interesting, from a lore perspective. It's like you have this this nice safe hub area, but the squids are supposed to be like some intimidating thing. So how does that work out? Well, whatever. Again, anything at that point would be completely conjecture. And so I think that's everything. Let's see what I'm doing on time. Oh wow, 15 minutes. Alright. Well, that's everything that I had to say about that. I'll try to look more into detail and bring up anything that I see later. But this is Alexander Fritz, signing off.